Hello everybody! Welcome, welcome! How are we going? How are we going? Absolutely epic humans. Whoa! What is happening? Alison Vanderbilt in the YouTube biz. Welcome, welcome. I'm looking at some cool games that we might have a bit of a look-see today. I'm looking at some quirky openings. I wanted to do some weird stuff today. So give me a few seconds and I shall be with you with some juicy goods. Any exciting chess news? Anything cooking in the hood? Hello Sloth, how's it going? Raheel is in. Alright, this is gonna be an interesting start. A bit of a game analysis. No, we don't want that. But we're just about there, ladies and gents. We're just about there. 15-minute Grandmaster, 15-move Grandmaster game. How can that happen? Apparently, easily. Okay, are we ready? Let us begin. Hello, Aidenski. Okay, so Sakayev against Sveshnikov. And the opening is that don't play this with white if you know what's good for you. Okay, there is a very famous idea here for black that I spoke about on this stream multiple occasions. I'm curious who remembers what clever idea is available for black here. Mazda, I don't know. What would you recommend as an aggressive opening for white 1e4? You mean, I'm confused. You mean as black? Well, there are a lot of things you can do. You can play e4, e5 very aggressively. What year is this from? Based on Sakayev's rating, I would say early 90s. Yeah. Early 90s. All kinds of Sicilians can be very aggressive if played in the correct spirit. So yeah, there is a fair bit there that you can do. So, white wants to play knight c4, hitting bishop and pawn. What do we do? It also depends on... Well, for white... Wait, what? I don't understand your question. You just said 1e4, like... That's a white move. I don't understand your question, I'm sorry. Like, you just played e4. That's pretty aggressive. What do you want me to say after that? Like, black has got 18 different moves against 1e4. No, you can't obviously have Savas clone with white the same level of dynamism as in the Sveshnikov, because when you are white, black can throw at you 5,000 different openings and you need to be prepared against all of them. So you just need to suck it up. Anyway, the move that is very weird and was discussed here is knight a5 as per them photons. Thank you for paying attention. Slot, your question doesn't make any sense. I'd really hate to tell you this. Like, you play e4. You need to learn an opening against e5, one against d5, lots against c5. You need to learn against d6, g6, e6. Like, I don't understand what you're saying. What you are asking is the equivalent of, I want to learn how to drive. Which road rule should I know? It's like, all of them, bro. Can you please have another go with your question? Like, if you ask me, what do I recommend against the Sicilian? That's a sensible question. What do I recommend against the French? Sensible question. I play e4. What do you recommend? I don't know, man. Let's run another round with that question, shall we? Yeah, knight a5 played. Bishop e2. So the point is that if knight c4, we can trade. And then we can play here probably c6 with the idea of pulling the bishop back and then conquering the center with d5. After e4, e5. Well, it depends on a lot of things. Rating, time, all those things. If I were you, I would watch my Danish Gambit video for starters. That could be a good starting point. Blundeel, welcome in. So knight a5 played. Bishop e2 played. Chess Watcher, welcome. Now black is awkwardly threatened with knight b5. And so black played here a6. I'm not a big fan of this move, but it's more or less forced upon us. Now, White opts for the trade. Take back with a pawn. Okay, let's play against the move from here for black. I am very happy to accept your friend's request anytime. You're 2100 rapid and blitz. Okay, don't do Danish gambit then. Do something more sensible. Learn, well, not sensible, but something more suitable. It's time to learn a proper e4, e5 opening. I would consider some kind of a Spanish. No. No Blundell, I would not. I would recommend knight c3 main lines every day of the week. No, absolutely no chance. So Queen e7 was played. The reason why we did this is because, for example, if you play a move like castles, then white was likely going to hit us with c5. And bishop takes is a good trade for white, I suppose, trading of the double c for a central e5 pawn. So Queen e7 is good. We played a4. Now, please, do not ask me about what the hell. I have no idea why this move is played. Funnily enough, quite high up on the engine's preference list too. But it's royally weird. Potentially it is to prevent bishop a3, but I don't understand bishop a3 because I could just dodge that with bishop here, right? So a move like knight f3 to me makes perfect sense. Chess Watcher, what are you going on about? What? You don't coach, but that's your name. Dude, that's what I do, like, more than half of my life. What? I think, yeah, you seem to be confused. Yeah, I don't know what you're going on about, buddy, but yeah, if you have a question, ask, man. The can I coach you is not a question. Just to be clear. Because that's exactly what I'm doing right now. So, sit back, relax, watch, listen, and you are being coached. And if you have a question about what you see or hear, please type it in. Like everyone else. Yeah, I'm very confused about a4. I'm not gonna lie. I can't figure out the purpose. Castle's normal. Knight h3. Now, white is playing some very, very offbeat chess here. I understand why they do this. And that is twofold. They don't want to play knight f3 because it walks into e4. Yeah, that's one reason. The second reason is that white is actually planning on a particular pawn break. Can anyone guess what pawn break white is looking to play for with knight h3? Not that they are going to get to it, but that's... Oh, actually they will. Yes, very good. So what white wants to do is to play castles and then break with f4. And it does make a lot of sense. I quite like the idea. It's just that it's not quite doable. And here Black did something that as a skill I think we should really, really learn. Which is to find moves that fit the bill in terms of what we want to do, but they also happen to set up a threat against our opponent's main idea. And so here, Sveshnikov played bishop c5. Now this move doesn't really require any explanation whatsoever, in the sense that it obviously clears the way for pawn d6, opening up the bishop's diagonal. So it looks like a very standard normal move that you would have expected any a time. But there is a very cool side trick to it that makes it particularly venomous. And that is that after f4, which now seems to be good to go without castling, right? Because I can't take on f4 twice. Black had a very, very devious idea. Why not c6? Because it doesn't seem to do anything. Not to my eyes. Why would you play c6 here? You want to go back and then d5? Feels a bit slow. Hey ZJ! Hello everyone who I forgot to greet in the interim. Yeah, I'm still not sold on understanding a4. So, after f4, the big question is, what was this mad lad's plan? Yeah, look, c6 is an idea there. I prefer to play move because it's more aggressive, but I see where you were going. It's a very surprising tactic. Knight e4, I don't know. It seems to just force white to castle, which is the move they wanted to play anyway, right? I'm not so sure about yeah, I don't like knight e4. Definitely a testament to how tricky this tactic was that no one sees it. And when I show it to you, everyone is gonna be like, what? Yeah, Panda X found it. So it's just bishop takes e3. Keeping it simple, friends. Keeping it simple. And loses the bishop back, plus all other problems will occur. Well, mostly black is winning a pawn. Hello, Mr. Nova. Guys, send a bit of love to Mr. Nova, chess guy, who is in excruciating pain, has been for now a fair while due to some very intrusive medical actions. But now we are going to show Mr. Nova some sexy chess moves like bishop takes e3, and that's going to cheer him up and make the pain go away. That's how pain works, in case you didn't know. That when you expose it to beautiful chess moves, pain shies away, buggers off, and never returns. And if you would like to put me up for the medical Nobel Prize on that account, please, by all means, No, ZJ, I did none of that. So, Sakayev takes e5. Which is an understandable decision because after takes, check, and castles, white is down a pawn for not a lot other than 4 isolated pawns. Yeah, I didn't think it was US Championships. So bishop e5. Alright, black to move. Let's play the rest of the game, ladies and gents. In a GTM style, also known as guess the move. Well, d6 would be... I don't even know what you guys are thinking when you say d6. Bishop f6 and takes here. Hello? Like, I was just casually donating a piece. Let's not do that. Yeah, obviously drop the bishop back. The question is the where. I would probably go all the way back. And that's what Sveshikov did too. Bishop a7. That sniper is a beast, man. Denying castles and all kinds of filth going down on the diagonal. It looks so good, man. Knight f2 played. What is our obvious response to this? Knight e4 is hanging a little bit. So there is a big dilemma here that I was hoping to produce or create. And I was wondering how many people would go with this. Because I suppose a way to present the situation is this. Do we take? Or do we not take? And in my book, there is a very, very easy answer or obvious answer to this. But, yeah. I suppose it's a bit of a dilemma. Shout out to... Oh, I can't read that. That's so shameful. It's a Russian name and I cannot read that. Sekrev. Something Tova is in the end. Oh, broski. That's not how you do it, but okay. I accept it happily. Thank you. If you actually donate it through the proper avenues, it would pop up on the screen, which would make you look like a really cool customer, just saying right here. I did receive it though, so thank you. Did you send me the game too? Alright, so we have an argument. Take this. Expose the king in the center. So we are exposing the king to what exactly? Is the question. And since that was coming from Nova Chess Guy, I'm going to set you up for a fight or a battle of debates or arguments with Phoenix Plays Game YouTube, who says that the king is safe on f2, and if we don't take and they castle, then the knight becomes pinned anyway. Rahil, send me the game, buddy, please, in a ChessCom message. Correct. So you are extremely reluctant to take this because it's the best piece on the board for the worst. By far. No questions, yeah? So if you want to commit to bishop takes f2, you really, really want to have compelling arguments, then send me the link to the game you want to analyze in the chat or in a DM. So you want very compelling arguments that this is good. And king exposed is not a compelling argument whatsoever. So we need here a line, a precise line that proves that this is correct. I would calculate for black something like takes, d6. I would assume that the bishop goes back. At this point, I would look at knight e4 check as the only forcing move that sends the king back. King g1, bishop f5, d3, and I would be like, it doesn't look good enough. It doesn't look good enough. White can easily consolidate. Bishop f3, h3, king h2. They have the two bishops. I have no target to hit. Don't like it. But that being said, it's not a bad position for black by any stretch. In fact, I prefer black. But yeah, knight g4 I can take. I wouldn't do that. You can reclaim it with queen h4, but that's a lot of trades. So long story short, I would only do this if I didn't have anything significantly better. Well, you want to play d5 here. I don't know, just rook out, tuck the king away, be happy. So what's the alternative? The alternative is obviously d6. And actually, this is how you convince yourself to not to take when you look at the alternative. Because now we split two ways. If the bishop goes back, we have a move that almost wins on the spot. And that's how the game went. Whereas if they take, then after take, this scenario is infinitely more appealing to the eye than the one where we took. Because now f4 is hanging, so g3 is forced. And now after rook e8, white has nothing but pins. It's actually tragic. So this is how you prove that this bishop is worth more than trading itself for the knight. Castles is more or less only move. Bishop h3, note the pin. And after rook e1, queen d4, we have arrived at one of the funniest positions we will see all day. White is absolutely helpless against the carnage on the diagonal. On this note, bishop takes f2 followed by queen d4 check may have been even more deadly. Like some checkmate ideas like this won't hurt anyone, yeah? So bishop takes f2 is your last resort if nothing else works. Hey, Code! Welcome in. So d6 played, bishop b2 played. And what did black play here? Thank you, Raheel. I am going to put that on the menu right after this game. So black to move, what do we do? There are two very strong moves available for black here. Damn photons is correct. Rook e8 appears to be most obvious. Played in the game. But knight g4 is equally feisty here. Very, very obnoxious business. Take, and now black is killing white on this pin, so they have to go king f1. Otherwise, rook e8 just is carnage. And then queen h4, and yeah, white is in all kinds of hurt here. GM played rook e8 though. But after next move, white resigned. Queen e3 just allows me to offer a trade, yeah? I don't think that that is a good way to be or to go about business. Yeah, queen e3 is definitely not it. For multiple reasons. The main one being is that it actually does nothing. Knight g4, says Mr. Sergeant. Yes, that is the move that made white throw in the towel. So knight e3 is now game winning. Knight f2 followed by queen e3 is game winning. You name it is game winning. There is no move left in the tank. Rahil, are you white or black in this game? Slight detour from the lesson, but good old Rahil paid a game analysis. Why would I advise against the fantasy? Because on 1200 level, you should never play f3. That's why. Because in half of the games, you're going to be stuck with the knight on f1. This is not normal to see for a 1200 rated player as a normal way of being. That's why. We are white. Okay, let's go. Oh, yes, baby. Yes, baby. Bring it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hello, what is this bit? What? What? Mr. Rahil. The idea is that we take this. Right? Like, even after bishop c5, we take. So compared to the main line, which I'm guessing you follow from my course, Now we are going to be up a full tempo because this is completely useless. Like, we didn't apply logic to our decision making here too much at all. Yeah, and then now you can play f3 or bishop e3. Both of them are fine, but I would go with f3. But why would you think that when the main line of this variation is based fundamentally on this trade, messing pawn structure and trying to obtain control of c5? Yeah, that's a very odd decision to me. Like, you know that in the main line, we voluntarily take this. Now we are forced to do what we do otherwise. Ah, I see. So you're not following my course then, are you? Yeah, this was not it, buddy. This was not it. Yeah, you are clearly worse here with white. So we have got a symmetrical pawn structure, open files, open everything, and they have the bishop pair. Ah, you're just winging it, right. So your last hope here to stir the pot a little bit is to play a move like queen back. I'm not sure which one. It doesn't really matter. With the idea that if they play bishop e7, you may be able to sell this trick to them. Hello, Jazz. And if castles, then bishop h6 all of a sudden wins the chess game for you. Of course, no one should ever guard a pawn like this and just play queen d7, letting it go castle here and murder you on the king side, in which case you should not take it. But at least this way you can sell that you have got some kind of initiative slash attack. This endgame looks very bad. Now we are losing further tempi, and the bishops are monstrous. Ephesians 6:12, welcome in. I would have played a king e7 in a heartbeat for black. To connect the rooks, check is useless because of king e6. And just take it from there. Yeah, I thought that the fantasy came from Levy. Hello, Colin Lee. Do you see the domination I sent you? Yes, I did. Very neat. Very neat, W. Is Black's plan here to take e5? Well, optimally, yes. So let's see how it goes. Yeah, I don't think that this is a good choice, Raheel. Send me that some other links. Yeah, we just got absolutely cooked here. E3 is also a very interesting idea here. So we don't take this. Actually, we could even. Because, oh, maybe we have got some trickery here that we don't take this, but some play like sexy moves like this. And then both bishops are going to fall. This is actually decently playable. But yeah, e3, pawn e3, and then bishop e5, and now the white structure is tragic. But bishop b2 also good. The only thing is that now the opposite colored bishops may provide a glimmer of hope. Not like that though. Okay, did you forget about the en passant rule or what happened here? Good night, Reddy. You learned the fantasy from Tanya, right? Well, there is nothing wrong with the fantasy as a line. It's just the timing of it, of at what point of your chess career do you pick it up, is what matters in my professional opinion a lot. Yes, Blundell, that's exactly my point. That at 1200 you should be spending hardly any time on learning opening theory. Hardly any. Like the vast majority of your games on rapid level are decided by gross blunders, irrespective of opening. Yeah, we're totally cooked here. Okay, let's have a look at another one. This is a very, very unfortunate affair. So what color are we in this one, buddy? We're black. Okay. What the hell is bishop b5? I would have played in knight d4, man. Like, bring it. Bring it. But okay, knight f6 is totally fine. It's a good move. d3, again, I would go knight d4 probably. But bishop c5 looks legit. This is doable too. Yeah, so here f4 would have worried me ever so slightly. Because we abandon the center, so they strike at the center. That's how chess works. Actually, Blundell 94 is featured in my course against the 4-knight Spanish. We play here knight d4 as well. / whatever. It's a way to save time and energy. I wouldn't do it, but it's not the stupidest thing I've heard in my life. Okay, bishop g5. We took. Oh, yeah. Now that is fugly. So now this is hanging, right? You have two developing moves to stop this from happening, and both of them are far preferable to what you do. Chat, what are the two developing moves that stop this? Bishop b7 is one of them. Rook b8 is not developing. Correct. So it's either bishop b7 or bishop b4. Both of these moves stop from knight b5. Happy Gilmore. c6 is played, and it's really bad on account of it's not doing anything for you, right? It stops one more threat without doing anything productive. You could argue that it supports d5, but so does bishop b7, so why wouldn't you do it with a developing move? And by the way, b4 as a third option was also doable. Like, I like everything more than c6. Because c6 is nothing but defend. And that's the last thing you should be thinking in chess. especially in the opening phase of the game, is to how to defend my pawns. It's like, no. Nah, that's not happening. We develop or develop. So I dislike c6 a lot. Oh, Jesus, what rating is this man? Yeah, I'm 1800 rapid. Okay. Bishop e7. Yep, I will let that slide. That's fine. Oh god. Don't we have knight e4 now? Bishop e7, knight e3, bishop d8, knight b2. Yeah, the knight is not coming out. Never mind. How would I know, Happy Gilmore? Like, give me games, buddy, so I can have a look at them. No, 94 is not playable because after take, the bishop gets out and your knight doesn't. Like, it's stuck. Hello, Drift. So, nah, it's not doable. You should be outcastling here followed by d5. No questions. Yep. Yeah, d6 is logical. I would love to make d5 work here. I don't think it does. But this is the move that we would like to make work. And try to blast the position open. Rook e8 and go after the king. Yeah, Happy Gilmore, I'm happy to look at your games, buddy, but like... you're not giving me anything to work with. But if you are stuck for years on 1200, that means that you are doing almost everything wrong and almost nothing right. As crude as it sounds. Provided that you're doing things. Fredericton Quads.
Fredericton Quads champion in the house.
Oh, Fredericton Quads. I don't know what the hell is Fredericton Quad, but I'm proud of you, brother. And cheese. Yeah, I mean, if you are just playing chess and you're doing nothing, then obviously improvement is unlikely. Yeah, I think you sent me the games, right? I like this position for black, but d6 is fine. 92, awful because now it allows knight h5. Yep, knight h5, excellent. I hope that we're not blundering here some takes g4 shenanigans. Like, I love f5 here. Absolutely love it to bits. But what was the plan in case of take? No plan, didn't see the fork. Love you, mate. At least you are honest. So you have a good feel for what you should be playing for. Because f5 is the correct way to play. But missing the fact that you are staring right into the barrel of a fork is next level blissful unawareness. So, yeah. I suppose I should call unawareness ignorance. Now, the best part of it is that according to the machine, this is an incredibly powerful piece sack. where the white king is caught in the middle. This pin is really, really obnoxious. And if queen d2, then bishop g5 adds an extra layer of obnoxious. Now that is easily, you know, 2200 over the board FIDE rating level chess. Oh, yes, yes. Yeah, absolutely, Jazz. I think this is very, very promising. With, you know, queen d7, bishop h4, rook f2 coming. Yeah. I mean, f4 is a shocker. Absolute shocker. If you want to take this, there is absolutely zero chance that you would do this without kicking the knight first. That just is, I don't know what to call it, lazy or not thinking it through, getting too excited and just jumping at the first thing you see, whichever the case. But if you want to play FE, there is no forking way. I'm not playing b4 first, sending this knight to some really shitty square, and then blast this thing open. I don't know whether it was excitement or carelessness. But that's a no-brainer, man. Yeah, I think that. Why would you send this knight back to e4 onto an outpost? e4 is hanging, rather f4, excuse me, is hanging for free. What am I watching here? Also, you have check, by the way. g3. I mean, ef looks like a win here. Here. This is looking to me like time to put the pieces back in the box. And knight g3 seems to be winning as well. Bishop takes. Takes, and again, f3 and queen f4, it's made. But I'm utterly confused about d4. Like, why would you force this knight now onto an outpost where you can never ever kick it out from? This is the least intuitive move on the board as far as I'm concerned. Like, if you want to kick the knight, why wouldn't you kick it this way so it has to go to a crap square again? Like, f5 was an extremely intuitive move. d4 is the polar opposite of that. Yeah, viral. Good, man. I also don't get why we're not taking this free pawn here. Followed by check. Like, your decision making here is completely inexplicable. Why is it worse? I don't know if it is, to be fair. But b4 just feels like a lot more forcing way to go about life. And now you have got an abundance of choices that you can do, which are likely going to turn out better than in this scenario. It is still bloody good. It's just being perfectionist. But playing d4 here is a shocker. Yeah. I don't understand the moves you are trying to do. Like, again, f4 is hanging for free. This check forces them to play c3. How is that good for us? What are you doing? I'm so confused. Like, surely you knew that this was met by c3. What part of that made you go like, oh yeah, that looks like a good idea? I don't hate the French. I hate it when people say that I hate things. I don't hate the French at all. I play it, in fact. I just think that it's a particularly bad opening choice for low-rated players. I do not hate the opening. I hate the damage it does to low-rated players who then turn into incredibly passive, defensive-minded players that then you try to turn around and years of work to undo that damage. That I hate. That has not a lot to do with the French. It has a lot to do with people teaching it to the wrong clientele at the wrong time, or people learning it at the wrong time. And correct, I play a lot more French with black than Caro-Kann, because I play exactly 0 Caro-Kann, and I play a fair bit of French with black. No, Raheel, I'm not gonna let you off this hook at all. This is not a plan. Or if it is, you need to tell me what that plan was, because I'm dying to know. Because in my book, it makes no sense. Like, after c3, you have to come back. How is that a plan? d3 weak. But bro, you're trying to eke out a weakness in a position where your opponent's king is currently the greatest weakness. Like, hello? Seriously? And you could actually take a pawn for free. That makes no sense. That is the literal equivalent of Sydney Sweeney sending you a text message saying, hey, my parents are out of the house for the weekend. Do you want to come over for Netflix and chill? And you go like, yes, I do. I always wanted to have a look at your Lego collection. And then I'm going to be gone on my merry way. It's like, are you listening to yourself? Like, you're trying to eke out a pawn weakness here that you, by the way, can never attack, when you could in fact take a pawn for free or murder your opponent. Grim Reaper, welcome in. What the hell is that link, Homeless? I expected better behavior than that from you, buddy. And why did the bot not eat that link right away? Ah, you're being helpful. Thank you. Yeah, it's always Sydney Sweeney, man. When I see a move like this... Ay. Wait, so we are going from winning a pawn to losing a pawn for 0 counterplay. Mr. Raheel. Well, that's not how to donate, but thank you for your kindness anyway. Isn't there a donate? There used to be a donate command anyway. But maybe I deleted it, or rather didn't bring it over from the old bot. It is Raheel who sent this game to me. Okay, so we did some absolutely crazy decision making here, and now our opponent is still forcing us to win the game. F3. Ay. Ay. So let's talk. Yeah, knight d4. What does it attack? Your knight. Yes, it also attacks c6, and we don't give a toss about that. In a way, it actually helps because that will give you a diagonal. So we needed to defend this guy. Now, I know you tried, except that you decided to commit seppuku in the same breath, which is very counterproductive if your ultimate goal is to stay alive. Oh, yeah, brother. Yeah, but you had zero reason to play hope chess here. Like, objectively, black is still better after g6. So why would you lose the plot? That's how you done it. That's how you done it, ladies and gentlemen.
DM'd on Chess.com, Craig.
Thanks, Craig. Yeah, this was absolutely wild, man. Like, you shouldn't have played this hope chess nonsense. Well, on the flip side, you managed to sacrifice 2/3 of your army. So, there is that. We got absolutely nothing for it, but, hey. The guy's upper rook, 2 pieces, and he goes like, I cannot possibly consider the fact that my c3 pawn will be captured. That is not happening. I have to protect my babies. Bishop b4. I don't think that this would have been amongst the top 20 candidate moves if I had to list them for white. Bishop b4. Bloody hell. That's insane, man. I mean, in a way, this actually, yeah, makes this card for life, because losing to someone who plays Bishop b4 here would definitely sting. Definitely sting. I mean, the dude could remove the queen from the board and would still be out material, and he defends that pawn on c3. It's like, good priorities in life, brother. Yeah, also here for Sydney Sweeney's Lego collection. Yeah, man. Yeah. That was not pretty, brother. Not pretty. And the sad part is that I just took a quick look at your time consumption, and it's pretty decent. But at this point, I would certainly recommend you to quit 10-0 and play 10-2 or 15-10. Because it seems to me that your decision making is definitely lacking, and I would like to hope that if more time given, you would make better choices. That sounded like I was your father, right? He's a 1700 on Lichess. What if I am his father? Yeah, like imagine if I was like a 21st century Genghis Khan. That would be pretty epic. It's a good live goal for those of you who are less historically oriented. Not only did he conquer half of the world, well, not quite, but you get the gist. But he has fathered at least very high hundreds, some even goes as far as thousands of children. And actually, because of they also busily murdered wherever they went, I think there's an extremely high number of people who are currently on Earth who are direct descendants of Genghis Khan. It's actually worth Googling. I think it's about 2% or something like absolutely mad. I will Google it now for shits and gigs. A 2003 genetic study identified that roughly 16 million men. Why only men? Like, why can't be women as well? Anyway, 16 million men, about half of the global male population alive today, are believed to be direct descendants of Genghis Khan. Ah, okay. The star cluster Y chromosome marker is found in approximately 8% of men in the region of the former Mongol Empire. So because of its Y chromosome, that's why they only identified men. There you go. No, it's not half of the world, but it's only male. Yeah. Yeah, that is an insane number. Yeah, he was a busy fella if you think about it, conquering the world in more than one way. Craig, thank you. All right, on to your game, Craig. Craig, can you give us a bit of context because it's not in the sent message? Yeah, it is an incredible number. Because that's only the male descendants. So if we estimate that the female would be half of those, then that's already 32. I was like, come on, that's just wild. Absolutely wild. Let's just go with the dude was busy with conquering, right? Oh, I just can't read. Okay, let's see. 17, opponent 18, and we are behind the black army, or wearing the black trunks. Okay, let's go. Oh, an English defense. Now that is not something you see very often on this rating level. Let's see. G6. Going copycat because why not? Coconut takes is acceptable. D6 is also a theoretical move here. That would take us back into the G3 King's Indian. Crazy! Thank you, buddy. Blundell, welcome in. Yeah, Attila was a different customer. He preferred the Lego. No, oh fuck, E6, man. Ah, why? No. No, no, no. Okay, so there are two things that you need to know here. One, is that a6 is like not a move. 2, there are lots of moves instead that are good to play here. If you have a problem with... Yeah, but for starters, there are a number of questions here that we need to answer. Why are you playing into an opening that you don't know at all? Number 2. So knight takes d4 seems like a no-brainer because your problem is that you want to play d6, but you can't because c6 is hanging. Now, as luck would have it, it is a perfectly playable move. It's a very well-known pawn sacrifice, and if white doesn't know what they're doing, black equalizes very easily. There is a lot of pressure here on b2, on the diagonal, yada yada yada. Oh, botmate, welcome in, welcome in. But yeah, d6 is one of the best moves in this position. But if you don't see that, because it's difficult to figure it out by yourself, why wouldn't you just take and then d6? And be like, well, that looks like chess. e6 is like, how is that even a candidate move? Like, what does that do apart from weakening d6? Okay, now you are making your case very, like we're going from bad to worse. I have a coach who is suggesting I look into the Grimfeld and g6 and e6 are played there. No, they aren't. No, they aren't. My brain now is running on like 4,000 spin per second to go through the entire Grimfeld theory, and I'm still unable to find a single line where e6 is played. What Grimfeld theory does black play e6 in? Now you made me very, very intrigued. Oh, fuck this. Oh, it really annoys me. So, for your information, this is the Grimfeld. Literal never do we play e6 here. Like, bishop g7, c5, knight c6, bishop g4 are the ideal setup moves. I mean, somewhere down the track between 15 and 20, e6 moves do get played for various reasons. But that's not something that we want to play. That's always a we have to play. So I have no clue what your coach is on. But e6, g6 together in the Grimfeld? No. Also, I'm a big advocate of don't play a move unless you can explain it to yourself. So how did you explain this to yourself? This is going to help me a great deal to do what? To play d5? Because if you don't get d5, you're totally cooked. And even if you do get d5, it's going to be butt ugly. Now c5 immediately shuts you down in a way that is very, very unpleasant. That doesn't make any sense to my untrained eyes, Craig. Your job now is to resolve the development of this bishop. Every move you play that is not serving that purpose is airy-fairy nonsense. Like, control d5. Like, why? Like, if I don't control d5, what's gonna happen to me? Like, let's say I take and play d6. Now I'm not controlling d5. So what's my punishment for this great sin? That instead I'm trying to develop this guy. Yeah, that was very bad. Let's move on. Okay, so now we have got 94, 95. That makes things interesting, yeah? I don't know how good it is though, because I think white has e5 here, so this may not work actually because of e5. But e4 somehow doesn't... Yeah, I would have played c5 there. Maybe you have got take and d5. Right? Because if anything takes on d5, knight d5 is good. And if e5, knight d7, and now this is on. I actually quite like this. Surely you did do this, yeah? Okay, now this is very clever if it works. So knight c6, knight c3, knight d8, knight d1. It doesn't look bad actually. Knight b7, knight b2. Okay. Maybe it is alright. Maybe there is knight c6, knight c3, knight d8, knight here, and then just take this. And then retake this. And then you're still very, very big time struggling getting out. Yeah, this looks very, very unpleasant for black. Yeah, no, I go back to my initial point. I think you should have taken this and then d5. This is my call. Did it not occur to you at all to lure the queen onto this diagonal and then try to bully it? Yeah, e5, knight d7. I already showed this, no? Nah, this is hanging. This is good news. This is good news. Craig, I thought that we already had this discussion that you need to tell stories, man. Like, I dislike this because it developed your queen. Like, who cares? The fact of the matter is that it's staring down on a tactical threat. This is not developed queen. This is a queen that 100% has to move again. Guaranteed. Like, I just recognized your name and we had a discussion that as soon as you actually started calculating lines and stopped telling stories, you would go up a lot of rating points. Okay, so your opponent dropped the ball here with knight e4. Knight d6. So bishop g5 looks like a bit of a fugly one here, right? Because f6 allows them to take, and if you move the queen, then knight f6 check. So maybe queen b6, so that after check we can go here. But again, this is still dicey, man. This is still dicey. I don't like knight d6. Wait, what? What? That is the move. That there. Whoo, brother. Let's point at black's best piece. Yes. Let's move that backwards at all cost. Said no one ever. What? Talk to me, man. What? Was this a mouse slip? What is happening? Like, if I was black in this position, I would play knight d4. Thank God we didn't play like a two-handed chess, where you play one and I go to and fro and to and fro. Yeah, you're not answering my question, buddy. I do get that story, but what is this? Like, how did you go like, Coach, this was the best move I could come up with in this particular position. This is the best. Craig, at this point, I forbid you to talk to me in airy-fairy stories. Give me moves and arguments that make sense to a chess player. I didn't want my knight long... Don't care. Like, it makes no sense to me, buddy. Tell me why we are removing a centralized knight that is defended when we have got 47 pieces not developed. The reason why I can't develop this bishop is not the knight on d4, my friend. It's the knight on d6. So, if you are a logically thinking chess player, you are either looking at queen here or queen here or queen here. Nothing else makes an iota of sense. None. Oh, shout out to Asmo for playing Blitz at 2 a.m. like coach requested. Awesome. Congrats to you, lovely lady. What are we on? Let me quickly check while I am trying to not get a heart attack over knight c6. $20.60. Hello. That's awesome. Congratulations to you, lovely human. Well done. Yeah, okay. Yeah, dude, like, seriously, Craig, you need to stop, man, this storytelling, decision-making in chess. You are not allowed to make moves anymore in chess without you backing up your decisions with precise moves. Do this for me and see the difference in your chess. It's not much, but it's honest work. I love that, Asmo. Good girl. Good girl. Back into rapid, lady. Let's go for the 22 hundo. So, yeah, like you're dying because of this knight is he. Kick it out. The knight has to go, and ta-da, you solved your problem. The bishop can come out. Oh, by the way, you didn't respond to me about my book question on Discord, Asmo. Like, this is a shocker, man. Like, you had absolutely no reason to do this. None. Okay, let's move on. Rook b1. And by the way, the reason why you are going down so much in time is originating from this move. That's move 11. Oh. Olma Kozart is going to Portugal. Asmo, chess players are invading your country. In a good way. Yeah, I'm not commenting on any of the moves you are playing here with black. Mostly because I don't think I could do better. Or I could recommend you anything. So I'm just going with the flow. I just found out that I'm the 38th best woman chess player in Portugal. Asmo, we need to work on turning you into top 5 and then off to the chess Olympiad you go. I would go back to d4 here, by the way. Yeah, you sent me a very questionable game, Craig, because most of the bleeding comes from two things you've done. One of them was e6, and the worst one was that you went into this knight c6 nonsense. And so I can't really, and I don't actually want to correct your thinking and moves from here on out, because you are telling me that would be like trying to fix a house that is on fire. What you need to learn is to avoid how to put your house on fire. And so I am not going to, find a superior move to queen e7, because more or less it's impossible. The best we can hope for is that your opponent messes up. d6? You mean e6? Mind you, don't we have now check knight c3 asking for a friend? Yeah, but knight c6 was a bigger mistake than e6, Craig. Yeah, exactly. Okay. The opponent managed to mess it up, so now we have a solid chance. You are channeling your inner Asmoada hanging in there. Okay, so we went from absolutely irreparably dead lost to clearly better. You got the love life. Okay. Please bring the king. That's not the king. Craig, I know that you have no time here, buddy, but you look at your 3 pieces that you have on the board. Great. Not great, but has to stay here. Shit. Why don't we move the guy that is absolute poo? Yeah, unfortunately, you are going to get very little sympathy from me with regards to the quality of moves you are playing versus the time you have, because you don't need time here. There's nothing to calculate. Like, bring your king to the center. Like, that doesn't take thinking, right? It requires your arm. Yeah, we wish we had played King of Fate earlier, right? I would go rook b7 and still bring the king in. Yeah, why do you need to blockade a pawn that can't move at all? Right? Like, why? You want to blockade past pawns that are an absolute menace and they are running toward touchdown, yeah? This is not that. It is a past pawn that actually needs babysitting. Okay? Chess pawn, we have been live for a fair while now. Why is it over here? What happened? He offered a draw. Okay. And I'm guessing that you ripped his arms out of their sockets because you were pooping your pants about losing on time. Hello, E-Repair. Yeah, dude. Yeah, this was a really unfortunate endeavor from start to finish. Like, you suffered from a poorly played opening, and then you didn't have enough time to punish them for their inability to play an endgame. I mean, you are objectively a little bit better here, but I don't necessarily see an easy way to try to win this. It's definitely a bit of a struggle. But yeah, that was actually, I am totally with Homeless on that one. So I don't understand your reasoning there. So his teammate won his game, so this draw won the team their match. So how did you not get beaten up by your teammates for accepting the draw? Yeah, but you're playing with increment, right? I'm Homeless is a lot harsher than me, which is very unusual. Right, yeah. I would have been disowned from my team if I had done that. Your team's a very, very nice people, your team members. But again, it's a fascinating topic that never ceases to amaze me. That when Einstein came up with the theory of relativity, he didn't realize that the ultimate proof of that theory, funnily enough, was about time. He just forgot to involve chess players. Because if you give this position to a chess player of, let's say, 2200 over the board or higher, and you tell them that they have got 45 seconds versus 5000 days, but they have 10 seconds increment, they would be like, yeah, let's go, baby. They go like, but we offer you a draw. They would be like, I don't give a toss. Let's go. But you're in time trouble. No, I'm not. I've got 10 seconds after every move I make. And there is nothing going on the board. I don't need time. So they play. Whereas you give it to 1700 and they crap their pants every step of the way that they are going to lose on time. And there is a line somewhere. I just gave you the 2200, but it's not scientific, nor is it always the same line. And it also comes with the difficulty of the position, but there always is a line where on this side of the line people poop their pants, and on the other side of the line they go like, what? You didn't play on from here? You crazy? Yeah, this is it. Like, clearly we were on the other side of the line. But once again, I don't necessarily see an obvious winning plan here. But even that shouldn't deter you from playing on, because nor do I see a way for it to go wrong. So why not play? Why not play? All right, ladies, I need to take a very, very quick toilet break. So I'm going to entertain you with something fun. I find it harder to find something fun than I thought that is suitable for us. But since I'm Homeless is here, I can give you something challenging. He's gonna help us out. Being the legend he is. Okay, this is incredibly tricky. But Homeless is here to help you guys, so you will be fine. And I'm going to be nice, so I will even tell you that White merely needs to survive this. White to move, and the draw will be good enough. I will be back in a moment. Alright, let me see what we got up to. Yeah, no one gave a toss about the puzzle, or rather the study I put up, which is funny. But I'm very glad that Craig got a little bit of a closure on knight c6. I second both what Botmit and I'm Homeless said. Do you guys hear the notifications from WhatsApp? Sorry, I got distracted. Yeah, okay. I'm trying to disable it, except I don't know how. Alright, so, quick answer. b3 does win the queen, but that's totally irrelevant, because the main point is that after king g1 takes queen, bishop check, king here, and bishop here, the white queen is trapped. It's a Zugzwang, and we have to give it up. However, here comes the genius point that after queen b3, black is compelled to take the queen, otherwise the queen escapes and then white even wins. But upon taking the queen, it's actually a stalemate. If you saw all of this, consider yourself to be successful at solving this study. I was not successful at solving the study. Yes, I get you. Right. We're going to go back to guess the move then from esteemed players. Oh, gee, I like this one. I didn't know this game. Let's have a look-see. This looks like a bit of a banger. Okay, Timoshenko against Michael Adams. Good old banker, baby. I am homeless, would be delighted to see this. If I'm not mistaken, Mr. Homeless is a banker expert. Apart from being a chess expert. Okay, so b5 take knight. Now this is laughable, if I am trying to be very honest. That is not how you play the banker, but Timoshenko didn't know this at the time. Isn't b4 very good for black here, Homeless? There is some BS line here like this, yeah? But surely this is good for black. Hello, Peter with an IE. The only Peter that I know with an IE is Posh Pete. If you haven't heard Posh Pete's story, it's well worth YouTubing. Yeah, it is a tricky line, but if you know it, I think you're safe, right? Anywho, the game went Queen A5, E5, and all hell is about to break loose. B4. Alright, let's guess the move for white from here on out. Yeah, but that's what I said, Craig. That is A, not willingly taken. It is we have to, and it's way past the basic principles of the opening. I could think of other occasions too, but it is not the essence of the Grimfeld. If anything, it's a, oh shit, we have to kind of thing. It's like saying that the best part of dating a woman is that you get to go home in the end after all. It's like, no. What is my opinion on the Scandinavian opening? It exists. Yeah, bishop c4 appears to be best because now if bishop a6, then we can play queen e2 or queen d3, both defending and attacking. Patsa class, the lower rated you are, the less you should be spending your time on that type of thing. But then again, the lower rated you are, the more likely that you're going to win games. Lots of them with that kind of nonsense. So there are lots of pluses, lots of minuses. Okay, bishop c4, bishop a6, queen d3, and check. How do we deal with said check? And Nova Chess guy, you should get excited here. I didn't even realize that this is gonna be a Nova Chess guy game. Is Nova Chess guy still in the house? Mr. Marcus Aurelius is in the house, ladies. There's a very important difference between King F1 and King E2. Very important difference. One is noticeably better than the other. But for you to determine that, you need to see a very clever tactical threat here from black that we need to address. No, it looks like Nova Chess guy is gone. Sad. That is correct, Marcus Aurelius. You are as wise as the philosopher you're named after. The difference is that one of them is better than the other. Oh yes, it is the Lloyd's Bank tourney. Yes, in 1992. Were you playing? That's cool, man. Did you play against either of those big guns? So, I tell you the trick, guys. There is a tactical threat here. So after King F4 takes, black here has a sensational idea. No, King E2 is better than King F1. And this is the line that proves it. Right. That's it. It's Queen A2. Now the irony is that this does work against King E2 as well. But now we are going to understand the difference. So King E2 played. Take played. Beastie, you are about to see. The difference is that now we are defending this. So we sacked an exchange, but white is fully deployed, and we are ready to unleash e6. Chess Optics, howdy. So, yeah, this position is actually massively preferable for white, but we still need to be very aggressive. All right, white to move. What's your move? Hello? What?
Thanks for all of your YouTube content. I consume so much, so here's a little for it.
Freaking hell. Thank you so much, Anan. Love you long time. Far out. Wow. Cheers, mate. You are a fucking legend. Yeah, bishop c4 is simply the best. There is no need to overcook it. There is no any immediate threats. You need to realize that you can't just strike yet. e6 is nonetheless an extremely powerful threat. So black has to play e6 themselves. And here I guess bishop d2 would make some sense. But I also like rook d1 per game. But now we need to start being violent. How do you do that? Queen g4? I don't know. What if I castle? It doesn't feel too intimidating to me. Because you go bishop h6, I just sack the exchange and that's it. D, queen b7, I think is best met by queen. Oh no, there's bishop b5. I think D is actually FE, no? Yeah, but bishop h6, g6. I'm happy to shed an exchange there to trade off all my problems. Bishop e6 is hanging, brother. That's not a move. But I think it's fe here. D, queen b7 looked terminal, but fe is the move. Homeless is giving you guys a few fat hints, but it's falling on deaf ears for the time being. But I'll wait until someone actually reads them and tries to figure out their meaning. Someone in the YouTube chat got it. Yeah, Dr. Poopy got it too. It's bishop g5. Very good. Very good. So the idea is that now obviously they can't castle, nor can they castle after take. And after take h6, you would assume that this is go time. So how do we mop this up? Don't give me single moves, please, here. I need full lines. Otherwise, we're being lame. Full lines, please. I mean, it's basically every single move is winning here. Yeah, one of the cleanest ones is take, and queen f5. This is probably the most brutal and the easiest to calculate as well. The only deviation that you need to reckon with is something like king e7 here. Because everything else just gets mated immediately. And then if you see king g6, in my book it's good enough. In my book this is good enough. Because we're going to win a rook here. Yeah. So Adams opted for rook a7 here. Take. And now Timoshenko didn't play the best move. But you will. You will, because you are a rock star. How do we proceed? D6 and Queen H4, Queen H4 check. Queen H4 check is one of the better ones. I think it was Tactic Swindlex who mentioned Queen G4 as an idea earlier. This is best. Once again, we try to eke out a new weakening move, which allows us to just absolutely wreak havoc on the dark squares. Whereas if they play Rook G8, then you can come in from here and hurt black again. Timoshenko played Knight G5. I mean, this is trying to caveman it with Knight F7 next. But this is actually not good according to the engine. I don't know what the blunder was here, but the machine wants this. And after take, King E7, Queen G6, now I can just simply go here. The big difference between this line and the one I showed you earlier is the presence of the Rook on A7, which now means that this is no longer mate. In the previous line where we looked at this Rook was back here. And consequently, this whole shebang wasn't playable because of the mate. So both Grandmasters dropped the ball here big time. And now after Queen F4, it is very, very tough going. I mean, according to the engine, the best move for black here is H6. I don't think that anyone would even look at it as a candidate here. Because you just pull your pants about the check. But it turns out, this is the only way to go. And now we have got some counter checks pending. Wild stuff. F6 was not it though. Take, and now I want to finish off. Okay, it's too easy. Ah! Let's give it a whirl. Can't hurt. Ask to move, ask to win. Let's go. D6, King E8. Queen F6, Queen C4 check. Peter, thank you for tuning in, buddy. Yeah, that's right. So we can actually go in for the mate because we can just zigzag out of the checks. And the game is over. It's not every day that you see Mickey Adams getting absolutely blasted off the board like that. One of the most solid top GMs. Bearing in mind that at the time of the game he was not top GM yet. But pretty close. Yeah, Mickey is a solid one, for sure. I would not describe his style as brilliant, though. Or even the word brilliant is not the first that comes to mind when describing Mickey Adams, but certainly great. Deserve treatment for a London player. Mickey is not a big London player. Maybe Black came in on time. Yeah, I don't think so. Okay, so to do justice to Mickey Adams, here is a Mickey Adams W that I think we're going to thoroughly enjoy. In the Trump, rather, sorry. Sorry, excuse my Freudian slip there. Correct, he's an immovable object, yes. Especially he was at his prime. It's like, you shall not pass. The better London system. Beastie, you are on fire today, man. On fire. I have won infinite number of blitz games in this position with black by playing knight h5. Bishop typically goes back to c1. e5, e4, check, king up, knight g3, and black won. I swear to God, I've won at least 15 blitz games like this in my life. Not proud of any of the 15, by the way. Because it's a cheap trick. Okay, let's switch back to Mickey's view. Knight c3. Yeah, well, I guess. So now he's turning it into some very aggro Peert. And let's be honest with ourselves, castling here is seriously asking for it. Like, you have to be a potato here not to play a6 to float b5. And then provoke a4, which at least makes queenside castles questionable. So castles already looks infinitely better for black compared to without these two inserted. And then there is queen a5 here, which again threatens with b5 because of the pin. And if you play rook a3, again castle has become even more attractive yet again. It's incredibly impractical play from a 2660 GM in my book, but whatever. Yeah, but with f3 it's very unlikely that you can get a knight to c4, so that whole maneuver is a bit less sensible in my book. Alright, let's play this with white, guys. How do you improve chess? It's called coaching, training, watching my streams, and watching my YouTube most importantly, which is where you are right now. In this particular order. So what is our move here, ladies? I hate to rain on your parade, but h4 here to me is not that appealing. I'll tell you why, because I'm gonna get queen e7 in, and then when you play h5 takes, I just take back with the f, and you're never mating me here. Mickey played here castles first, which is my preference. And now he played a strange looking move. Yeah, I guess my ideal move here would be to do this, but gets captured. Now h4, I guess. Yeah, I would go h4 here. He did 92. He did 92. But there is a very clever point behind 92, which I don't think most of us appreciate yet. The engine is not impressed by it, by the way. But he didn't play h4 here either. Yeah, he did 90 g3 and gave himself an exclamation mark, whereas the engine would give it a question mark, exclamation mark. So he 97 is only to back up the knight. Instead, Georgiev played b5, and he got absolutely steamrolled. An interesting defensive idea here that I wasn't quite aware of is rook e5. So that you can come in from here at times after a trade. Yes, Kirill Georgiev is a well-known Bulgarian GM. And this really has done the damage. Okay, why to move and why to move. Let's go. Excellent, Beastie. Very, very nice. Very nice. And bot mid as well. Bishop b5. And basically everything loses to rook e1. And you cannot take on account of mate in 2. So he went check. And then went rook up. And now we have got a banger of a move to finish it off. Obviously, rook e1 loses to queen e1 now, so don't call that. Bishop e8, baby. Bring it. Bring it. Bring it. But what is the winning idea after here? Geniuses. What is the forced win? Change the move order, brother. Rook e1 first, and if they take, that's when you go bishop here. Queen e5 was played. But after rook e1, Georgiev thought it was time to throw in the towel. How do we win after queen g7? Give me the most forcing win. Oops. I don't see how bishop f7, rook f7, rook e8 wins. What if rook f8? Yeah, okay, I'll take back. I don't understand, Brazy, what you're trying to do. I don't think you understand what you're trying to do. Mr. Homeless is giving you the gifts, guys, because Mr. Homeless is a gift that keeps on giving. Backrank is the hint. Well spoken, sir. So, Brazy, just so that you see what you're saying, I would like to show you this. Like, does this make sense to you? Because this is what you said. Homeless is a very, very strong international master. Yes. This is your line, Brazy. I don't think that it makes sense to you. I called it, though. I said king takes. Yeah, you were getting excited, Brazy. No, no one is getting it. Far out. Even with the hint. Yeah. Let me check YouTube. No, YouTube didn't have it either. Ah, bot mid. Bot mid comes in strong. Yes. So the surprising queen trade is the way to go, ladies, because now bishop c6 hits a rook and hits back rank mate. You could call this an anticlimax, but +6 is +6. Axel Steinmetz, welcome in, brother. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to call it a day here. By the way, I forgot to tell you, we had an earthquake here in Canberra yesterday, which is crazy. Like, unheard of. The armchair was shaking, the standing lamp was shaking, my daughter was freaking out. I was confused. It was pretty cool. 4.5. Yeah, you could actually feel it. That's what made it weird. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna call it a day here. It was an absolute delight to have you on board with me today. Thank you for tuning in. I'll raid you off the panky. Be good. Take care. And I hope to see you maybe tomorrow. Cheers.